There's this interesting question of whether wild horses belong or not in the West. The symbol of all that is wild and free.
We've been living among the wild horses for almost the last 5 years.
Well, hello, Mama Bell. How are you? How are you, Mama Bell?
What a beautiful mare you are.
Hi, little bean. Hello, boy.
It's all right, Gandalf. We're not here to hurt your babies. Hi, Solomon.
It's me. It's all right.
They're beautiful. They're wonderful animals. They're America's heritage out there. Wild horses are as American as apple pie. We're in trouble. We're losing our forest. This is a serious situation.
I'm very conscious of fires around here. We don't smoke outside. If we do any chainsawing, we carry a fire extinguisher with us.
When you want to change the heat of a fire, you got a couple things you can do. You can deplete the oxygen, or you can change the amount of fuel.
We've had a fire about 4 miles to the east of us, and then about 1.5 miles that way, there was another one. There was a lot of smoke and helicopters, and you can smell it, you can taste it. As you can see, we're all off-grid. There's a large composting toilet, which we call the turd tower. Don't go to town much. I mean, up here, once the fire starts, it's hard to get in here. Definitely. I'm afraid of losing everything.
Something's got to eat all this grass. You look at this grass here, this is crazy.
And that grass turns super iridescent-y green, man. I mean, it looks so idyllic. It makes this place look like the Garden of Eden. By the end of the summer, you won't see a green thing out here. Everything is going to be brown and dead.
The wild horse evolved in North America 55 million years ago. And about 10,000 years ago, which is a geologic blink of an eye, they disappeared. The land still remembered them. And so when they came back with the first Spanish explorers, it's no surprise that they flourished. Here is a land that they had lived in for 50 million years.
They value their freedom. These horses are part of this environment. They're critical to the maintenance of the environment. And by taking them out of their critical role, we throw the whole system into a turmoil.
There's lots and lots of fuel. And we need lots and lots of horses eating lots and lots of fuel. It's either going to fuel the horses or it's going to fuel the fires, either one of the two.
A law was passed in 1971 that sought to protect wild horses. It protected the horses and left out what we should do about the wild part. We're stuck in this pattern of gather, round up, and store.
We're looking at about 48,000 horses that are being held in BLM corrals. You got all these beautiful Native American wild horses in cells. They want jobs. They don't want to be in jail.
And the problem is they've never figured out what to do with them. Where do these horses fit into the bigger picture of the Western ecosystem?
I just read the report to Congress from March of 2018, basically creating a manageable wild horse and burro program. And on the very first page of it, it has a manifestly untrue statement. It says, wild burros and horses have no natural predators. That's not true. That's just a fabricated lie.
The BLM is ignoring all science, including its own. The truth is that the mountain lion co-evolved with the modern horse. It knows how to catch the horse. It actually likes to eat the horse.
We hadn't seen Elvis in about a week and I was worried about him. And I came around the corner and there was a buzzard on something right up here. And so I went over there and a lion had killed Elvis. There's Elvis. Well, I don't care if they have a PhD or not. I'll tell them to their face, they're liars. Yeah, she didn't get to live very long. It's harder when you lose them and you got a name and you know them. It's just tougher.
Why would the BLM not recognize that? Predation could be a way to manage horse herds. The federal government spent decades and great effort trying to eliminate as many predators from the West as possible to protect the ranching industry.
Can't manage a natural resource unless you tell the truth.
How did we get to this point where we as a society want to protect something wild and free, and so we do something that is captive and expensive?
If you're going to protect it, do it right.
The BLM is desperate to get horses out of its care. I think if one could demonstrate on huge pieces of land that the horse can be an asset, that the horse is not a liability, then maybe you could get somewhere.
These guys are like a fire brigade. So here's an example of a horse tree. These wild horses showed up, they've adopted this tree, they're taking care of this tree. This is a beautiful relationship. More trees like this in the forest means less trees burning. In a wilderness area, you can't use traditional wildfire abatement tools. The vision behind the Natural Wildfire Abatement and Forest Protection Plan, aka Wild Horse Fire Brigade, is to take corralled wild horses, we put them out into these wilderness areas, in a wildfire abatement role. By reducing the fuel in the fire landscape, you reduce both the frequency and the severity of wildfire. And we solve our problem.
If you roll the dice, lightning will strike twice. There's water in this boat. Let's pray this thing can float.